Good morning, everybody. BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I don't know why they keep they paint over the graffiti and they hit them right. I keep telling y'all, this neighborhood be wasting so much money on paint. You can cover up the graffiti, but if you don't put something over it, people just gonna spray right back over there. So anyway, I've said that more than once. I am headed to Target in the neighborhood because I done ran out of rice at the most inopportune time. And the reason why it's the most inopportune time is because it's noon right now, or about 7 minutes to noon to be exact, and I got my therapy to go to on the other side of town at 2 o'clock. My thing was, I'm gonna get 10 pounds worth of rice. What's the best way to approach getting that? The Lakers don't play tonight, so I could get it after the therapy session, but then I understand it might be raining tonight. And I may want to walk home, and I ain't gonna want to walk home with 10 pounds of rice on my back. So this is me going down there right now. This should take about an hour, and then I'm gonna have to catch the bus down Lancashire to make it to my therapy session on time, assuming how quickly I can get over here and get back. Well, depending on how much walking I will be able to do. If I really wanted to walk comfortably to the therapy session, I'd probably leave now to go that way and just walk all the way Lancashire, take that whole hour like I normally do. But then I'd probably, as I do my homework on how long it takes, I probably don't need that much time before the therapy session. I'd probably be there sooner than necessary. So I got a weird amount of time try to figure out how to do it. I could have stayed in the unit, did some art and all that type of stuff for about an hour and then leave, or 45 minutes and then leave, and then just do this afterward. But I wanted to get it done now, just in case, if for some reason afterward I don't feel like doing it, I'm not forced to, or if for some reason I forget for whatever reason, it'll already be done. Because my concern is that I get all the way over here, get to the hotel after therapy, forget to have made that run, and then realize I ain't got no rice and have to leave. As I always tell you, she's never barking at me. She's always barking at something else. She's barking at that Alpine Fresh van that just went by. But at any rate, so this is me trying to take care of all of that beforehand and get the rice, get everything else I need, bring it back to the hotel, and then bounce. So yeah, don't want to step in that. So this is gonna work out, as I think I left the house in time. I just gotta not have any snags when I get there. Pick up what you need to get. I wish they had the self-service checkout working, but they never do with this one. And so it's one of those situations where you gotta wait in line. Hopefully ain't too long of a line right now. But as I said, it's noon, so who knows. But it's Monday. I only got about 3 more days or 4 more days left for this month, because it's a short month. And you know, certain things I'm trying to make sure I don't walk into this month with, in terms of my life and how things are going. I don't want certain things walking into my life. And one of the things I've been thinking about, of course, as you know, is my friend Kay. You know, and as I was telling y'all, I don't want to give up on our friendship or whatever it would be. But I decided, you know, with a lot of prayer, first of all, it was Saturday. I woke up in the morning and just realized that I did not desire to reach out that day at all. I woke up and realized the last thing I had sent her had been left on scene. And I don't know what causes that. Sometimes people just get busy, tell themselves they're going to get back to you and forget to. So I wasn't looking at it too seriously as it pertains to that one situation. But it was just a couple things in my mind. I coupled that with the dreams I had been having and I told you guys about in regards to her, coupling that with just the overall vibes that I had been feeling the last 6 months. It just, all of it came to a head on Saturday. I'm just like, my desire to stay in this space where I'm without this person in my life, and when we do communicate is good, but I'm getting the bare minimum at times. You know, it's like my desire to keep pouring into that person is starting to wane, as it naturally would. I said something this morning in the fleet of things that I sent her. I said, how did I word it? It was like, basically, if you're being ignored, it's hard to ignore being ignored and remain inspired. Eventually that inspiration becomes expired. You know, and it was just a lot of stuff like that was coming my way, to where it's like, I understand that the way she works, it's like sometimes she doesn't want to communicate, or maybe she's too busy, or whatever the case may be. But because she doesn't communicate, I have to always guess, as we've talked about many times. And it's just getting to a point where it's like, we're going in a month 6 of me going through being in this hotel, being displaced every 3 weeks, having to go and sit in a motel. And it just gets to a point where it's like, yo, me having these thoughts for her compound the problem of the stress of what it is that I'm overall experiencing in my life right now. And even though when I speak to her, it provides a certain bit of momentum and boost to my spirit, when she's away and when she's ignoring me, it does the exact opposite effect. And so it's like, oftentimes I find myself feeling like the enemy is using her as a means of attacking me, for which we've talked about many times, to where when I need to not be ignored the most, when things are most frustrating in other areas of my life, here she is going ghost. And it just gets to a point where it's like, yo, I don't care to keep pouring into this. I don't care to keep pouring into this, you know. And I told you guys what had happened, you know, as I was leaving the motel, and just how I felt she had been not necessarily responding to what it was I was sending in a positive way, only for her to later on come back around and communicate and then go away again. It's just like, yo, what is this? And so Saturday, I just woke up in the morning just like, yo, I don't feel like I'm involved in anything positive. I don't think this person respects me very much, and I just don't really want to do too much communicating with them at all today. That's how I felt Saturday morning. And I went to sleep Saturday night. You know, before I went to bed that night, you know, I was basically confessing unto the Lord all of the things that I fear in this situation. And I realized I had more fears than feelings in regards to my buddy K there. It was more fears. Afraid of what happens if this, afraid of what happens if that, concerned about what happens with this, if I do that, and something's not, if this goes. It was like, yo, I sat there confessing fears and realized it was like a list of like 15, 20 things long. I'm like, I feel better now that I've confessed these things to the Lord and verbalized them in such a way that centers them into a space for which I understand. And then it's like, all right, well, Lord, give me the strength. I give you all these fears. Give me the strength to communicate and get to the bottom of what this is. What is it that keeps me drawn here to this person that I don't feel, for whatever set of reasons, is showing me that she really needs a whole lot from me, if anything at all. So it's like, and I woke up yesterday morning and, you know, I just had almost an epiphany. It's like, yo, this isn't working for you, but if you're intent on leaving this person's life, they should at least have an opportunity to know where you stand, what it all has been causing all of this, what it is that you haven't said, what you think should be said. And so I communicated what I did, and she left all that on scene. So it's like, and I'm getting to a point where it's like, I feel as if one of the things that she most appreciates about me is the fact that I don't question these type of things. And she can always come back around and when she feels like communicating and have the best version of me. But it's just like I said, you know, when you're dealing with somebody who has that type of demeanor and doesn't explain to you fully what it is that they're going through or why they feel that way or what's going on in their life that would make her act that way, but still comes back around to where it really doesn't make any sense. You know, come back around, say she love you. It's like, what do you need from me that requires me to feel like I need to keep putting up with this behavior? You know what I mean? Why do I have to keep putting up with this behavior? Why do I gotta walk on eggshells and put up with stuff that I wouldn't put up with for anybody else, just so I can come back and get the bare minimum from you? You know what I mean? It's like, you just get to a point where you realize, yo, whatever is going on over there, I'm obviously not helping to the point where it's helping her grow in this area. And I really, really am tired of being put through the ringer in this way, to a point where, unlike any other time before this, I'm really genuinely okay with going away. Now, I may not like how that looks because I don't communicate with a lot of people. I'm alone, you know what I mean? And how that comes together, it doesn't really feel all that great. But I told him, like, I'm ready to come out of my shell and communicate. And maybe you're not there, and that's perfectly fine because everybody comes to their own conclusion about stuff like this on their own. So maybe I'm forcing upon you a growth that maybe you're not ready for or whatever. So if you don't feel no pressure to do anything different, I'm not going to sit up here and say that because I feel this way today, that you're supposed to feel this way today too, because it's been like this for several weeks, several months, and it was all cool. So it's like, I get that, but like, as I feel it, I'm going to share it. And that's what I was basically saying. I was telling her, I was like, look, I don't know what causes this. I don't know what you go through when you see my messages. Hopefully, it's none of the negative things that come to mind, like you disrespecting me, or that, you're in such a dark space that you just don't care in certain moments, and you snap out of those in the morning and suddenly you feel like a different person. Maybe you got somebody next to you can't speak to, or maybe life is such a way that you can't communicate even though you want to. But I hope that when you see these things, you smile. But it gets to a point where it's like, I'm tired of pouring into somebody. It's almost like pouring your best wine into a dirty glass. You know what I mean? It's like, it gets to a point where that doesn't seem like that makes any sense. It's almost like I need to just stop drinking altogether. And I'm praying about this, and the Lord is giving me dreams. Is telling me, that there's some dissension there and some energy there that I probably shouldn't necessarily pour into you anymore. And it's like, I've prayed for this person more than I prayed for my own mom. You know what I mean? She came into my life in a time where I was praying hard after my mom had passed away, and I've been praying for her ever since. And she's told me she's struggling with certain things, and I understand the trauma that she's been through, and it ain't been that long. It ain't been a year. But at some point in time, you just got to say, me trying to be who I need to be for you is doing damage to me, and I'm not getting anything out of it. You know what I mean? I'm not getting nothing out of it. And I don't know that is worth it to me as I go forward. As I continue to heal and go further into my life. I just turned 39 and a half a couple days ago. I don't know that it makes much sense for me to pour into a friendship where it's required for me to accept what I would otherwise define as mistreatment. Just so that you can be yourself, for which wants the ability to mistreat me, as I currently define it. So it's like, that's where I'm at. I gave her an opportunity. I'm like, look, I want to know you better. I don't want to know you. I don't want to be in a distance like this. Let's try to get together if that's something you're up for. If not, then I'm just going to assume you're pushing me away on purpose and hoping I get the hint. And maybe I've been failing to get that hint. But I'm not failing to receive it now. And so it's like, she needs to start making some effort to be better in this situation, or I'm just going to assume that her spirit ain't in the right place and that the Lord's removing me from her at this point. And so that's really where I am, you guys. It don't feel as worth it to me as we continue down this path to keep pouring all of this positivity into my text and energy into this person when I don't feel like I really have a line of communication to her, but she keeps coming back around just enough to keep me at that distance. It's like, now that feels like I'm being toyed with. And some people are snakes in life, they just want you to hang around and make them feel better. Or they want to be close to you so they can gather your energy in such a way so they can throw it back at you, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they just feel so low about themselves that they love having somebody attached to them, but they don't necessarily want that person, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to keep pouring my best wine into these dirty glasses. You know what I mean? Pouring my very best energy into a person who ain't throwing that back at me. So that's how I feel, man. I'm at Target now. I'll let everybody soon. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.